Welcome everybody back to Botch Bros, and today we're going to list off our
top 10 wrestling finishers of all time.
Okay.
I'm going to start us off at number 10. I know for an absolute fact you're going to disagree with me, and probably many of you will as well. At number 10, I have the Attitude Adjustment, the AA, which was formerly known as the FU.
garbage finisher.
It is iconic, and I personally, maybe it's nostalgia, but I do love that finisher. It's my number 10.
Finisher.
That is the only one I can say that most people disagree with. I think the rest of it is kind of consensus.
My number 10 favorite finisher. Okay, you had a controversial one. I kind of have a controversial one. It's Chris Jericho's Lion Salt, where he hits the ropes, runs up, goes up, springboard from the bottom rope, and does a backflip. It's incredible.
He can't do that no more. Let's just say
He can't do it no more. He's tried, and it's terrible. But I'm thinking more of his WCW,
early AEW, he could.
early WWE. I mean, he was doing that thing night after night. He had to quit because it's bad on your knees, and he gave us another awesome finisher, the Code Breaker, but I didn't have to put that on my list.
All right. At my number 9, I think this is one that most people would have on their list. Some people might actually think I have it too low. I have the Sweet Chin Music. So specifically, Shawn Michaels' version of the Super Kick.
So do I.
At number 9?
We have a matchy number 9 Sweet Chin Music. It is a great. It's the best Super Kick. It's overdone today.
Yeah, if you want me to be honest, I'd probably have this higher if the Super Kick wasn't so overdone today.
Yeah, I mean, I love that finisher. Sure.
At my number 8, I have another one that I think a lot of you would agree with. I have the GTS,
dude,
the Go to Sleep.
Did you seriously look at my list?
Swear to God.
My number 8 is the GTS.
Swear to God on my life I did.
No way, that's insane. We have matchy number 9 and number 8. The GTS, it's incredible. I mean, who's kicking out of you're on the shoulders and you get picked up and you just get your freaking face smashed into his knee. Also, I'm pretty sure Kenta from Japan, he's the one who originated it, but CM Punk's version is the one we're referencing.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is one of the 3 best active finishers right now. And at number 7, I have RVD's version of the Frog Splash.
Yeah.
I think personally, a lot of people might say Eddie Guerrero's. It's my favorite version of the Frog Splash.
I think Montez Ford is my favorite version of it, but RVD's 5-star Frog Splash is freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Goldberg's Jackhammer. I don't like slam finishers, and I think that's what you guys are really seeing right now. I don't like slam finishers because I don't see how a back bump could take it out of you. But Goldberg is a freaking freak, and he picks you up in the suplex position and just plants you down. I can see how that can knock someone out. Because with finishers, you got to suspend your disbelief for a second. But with my top 10, I think if these were actually executed on someone, it could actually cause damage, and I could see that with the jackhammer.
I also love how he uses the spear to build it up rather than making the spear the finisher. With the exception of Braun Breaker's spear, I never want to see a spear as a finisher.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's just such an overdone move. So I think I love, and I always did like how Goldberg does the spear and then does the jackhammer. At my number 6, I have the Curb Stomp, which is now just referred to, I think, as the Stomp, and has been for the last 5, 6 years whenever he brought it back. I have always, for some reason, ever since I was a kid and they introduced that move, I have always enjoyed that finisher. I believe it was banned because they thought it was like some form of negativity for children to see. But personally, I've always really liked that move. I know some people don't like it. A lot of people think it's now kind of overdone, like he does it too much in matches, which I get that, but I still really enjoy that move.
My number 6 is the Tombstone Pile Driver, specifically done by Undertaker. Now, I love you, Kane, but you've always done the Tombstone Pile Driver a little sloppily. I prefer your choke slam, but Undertaker perfected the move, and he does it. I mean, you don't even, it looks like the guy is hitting his head, but obviously we know he's not. But again, Undertaker, my favorite wrestler, so obviously his finisher's got to make it on my list. Not one of the best, not my favorite, but definitely on my list of my top 10.
At my number 5, we have the Stunner, specifically Stone Cold's version of the Stunner. Not that Kevin Owens does it poorly, but Stone Cold's is better. A lot of people would actually put this even higher, and I understand where you're coming from. It is the best finisher of the Attitude Era, in my opinion.
My number 5 is the Spear by Braun Breaker. If Braun Breaker didn't have his spear, it would have been the Gore. I would have the Gore on this list, but I got to put Braun Breaker's spear. I'm going to list off some hot takes. Edge's spear frickin' sucks. Like, it's garbage.
bad.
It's actually garbage. Now, I understand why he's doing it. He's trying to protect his neck, but it looks horrible. He lets up so bad, and he just needs to stop doing it. Bring back the execution. Cope. Come on, Cope. Call it the Cope-ecution.
And Roman Spear's overrated, in my
Roman
opinion.
Spear's that's not that great. Goldberg spear, awesome. But I have Braun Breaker's spear on here because that thing, I mean, watch the speed clip. Just, that's it. That's all I have to say.
At number 4, I have my personal second favorite modern finisher, I guess because one of these isn't considered modern at the moment. My number 4 is the Claymore kick. I've always, ever since Drew McIntyre invented that move, I have always enjoyed that move. In fact, I would say it is the best finisher in WWE today that is younger than like 10 years old. It hasn't been done for at least 10 years. During his 2020 WWE Championship run, one thing I always knew in a Drew McIntyre match is there was going to be a Claymore kick, and I was going to enjoy it every single time.
You know how he came up with that move? Whenever he was in 3MB, those leather tights, he went for a drop kick, but he couldn't get his leg up all the way, and that's how the Claymore was born.
I'm glad he invented it because I love that move.
My number 4, the Stone Cold Stunner. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already elaborated
He
my
elaborated enough on that, but it's the move that you think of the Attitude Era, you think of the Stone Cold Stunner.
At number 3, I previously said the Stunner was the best finisher of the Attitude Era, but I was mistaken because this move was definitely done in the Attitude Era. It's just I don't think of the Attitude Era when I think of it. I think more Ruthless Aggression Era, even PG Era. At number 3, I have the Tombstone Pile Driver. Again, like him specifically, Undertaker's version, Kane's is not all that. Yeah, I mean, is there much that needs to be said that he didn't say? It's a great finisher. Taker, one of the greatest to ever do it, and I enjoy his finishing move.
My number 3 is the F5. I mean, I would die if Brock Lesnar put me on his shoulders and flung me like an airplane and just let me drop and let every ounce of my body just die. I mean, that thing it also looks beautiful. It's insane. I love the F5.
Genuine question. What do you, and everyone watching this, what do you think would hurt worse? For Brock Lesnar to deliver an F5 to you, or for Brock Lesnar to deliver a shooting star press to you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's a tough one. So my number 2, you might have just heard it, is the F5. I think that the F5 is one of the best finishers ever. I think it's like a better version of the AA. I always enjoyed the AA, so whenever I would see an F5, I'd be like, okay, I love the AA, but this is like all that but better. I think Brock, every time he does it, you just see all of his aggression, all of his, built-in anger, the beast. You see his character come to life when you see the move. So yeah, I got it at number 2.
My number 2 is what some people will say is the greatest finisher of all time. It is the Randall Keith Orton, the RKO, out of nowhere, probably the most iconic finisher of all time. It's so well done, and whenever he does it, I get so excited. I mean, everyone pops for an RKO. Even if he's the heel, you're still going to pop for the RKO because of how nice it looks.
My honorable mention is Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb, one of the greatest high-flying finishing moves of all time. I kind of wish we could have seen that off the top of a Hell in a Cell, but that might just be too dangerous.
Yes. My personal honorable mention, the one that just couldn't make it, is the Claymore kick.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, again, you said it all, but I can't imagine being kicked in the face by a hairy Scottish guy. I mean, that I'd be pretty.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that assertion. Now, my number 1 is what he considers to be the second greatest finisher of all time, and what I consider to be the greatest finisher of all time, and I know many of you do as well. It is the Randall Keith Orton, or does it really stand for the Randy Knockout?
That's his initials.
Some people have said it stands for Randy Knockout. Whatever it is, the RKO, greatest finisher of all time, in my opinion. Whether it's the basic, simple RKO, whether it's someone jumping off the top rope, whether it's the super or avalanche RKO, I think it's what they call it, or is it super RKO, whatever it is, where he does it off the top rope. Doesn't matter, any form, it's a beauty. It is my personal favorite WWE finisher of all time.
My favorite finisher of all time, my number one, some of you might not know it. If you're a deep down hardcore wrestling fan, you probably know it. It is Kenta Kobashi's Burning Hammer. I mean, absolute icon, Kenta Kobashi. There's a YouTube channel out there. I'll link it in the description down below, but he does a lot of Japanese wrestling stuff. I recommend a documentary that he made about Kenta Kobashi. Insane. Awesome documentary. But the Burning Hammer, it might be the most devastating finisher of all time. I don't think anyone kicked out of it when Kobashi did it. And he has you in a torture rack like Lex Luger, and then just drops you on your frickin' head. It's just, you don't even suspend your disbelief. If you see someone do that, you're like, okay, he's dead. He's done.
You know, you spoke of people not kicking out, and maybe with the exception of the F5, I don't think too many people kicked out of it. We need to see more finishers, especially like the main ones that we just listed, where people don't kick out of it all the time. It seems like in the modern WWE, every main event match, there's at least 2 finishers kicked out of.
I mean, the kickouts from Elimination Chamber were absolutely egregious. In the unsanctioned match and in the men's Elimination Chamber.
It was ridiculous.
Egregious kickouts.
Now, I mean, I don't want to be complaining too much, but it's just like, finishers are supposed to be finishers. I'm not saying the top stars can't ever kick out of a few in a match. Yeah, that's fine. But we're having matches where people are kicking out of 5, 6 finishers in a match.
Yes.
That's, like, can we at least all agree that's maybe a little too far? But that was our top 10 favorite wrestling finishers of all time. Let us know yours in the comments below.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.